Hi, I'm Dr Darren Reid and I'm an Associate Professor here at Coventry University. I'm an expert in race relations in the Americas and I'm here today to talk to you about Black History Month. So Black History Month actually comes from the early 20th century in the United States, during a time where Black people there were being particularly repressed. We call this era the era of Jim Crow. This is when Black people had the right to vote systematically stripped from them. This is where they had fundamental civil rights systematically stripped from them. But of course, as all of that awful stuff is happening, good and noble people were trying to instead celebrate Black history, celebrate Black culture. And that's where we get the first inklings of something that would eventually become Black History Month. Over the course of the 1920s through the 1960s, it's a relatively small event, a one-week event, which is unofficial, which people are celebrating or utilizing in an ad hoc way. But in 1976, President Gerald Ford finally signed into the national consciousness the existence of a full official month dedicated to Black history, and it's from there that this country and other parts of the world really started to celebrate their own Black History Months. So what's really wonderful about Black History Month, for example, not being a Black scholar myself, is that reminder, actually this is something I need to be focusing my attention on. This is where I need to be looking for my own shortcomings, my own short-sightedness, and trying to correct that as much as possible. And it's also a time where we can remind ourselves and our students and all lovers of history that Black history isn't the story of repression. It's not the story of people who were being put down or suppressed. That's an easy story to tell. Black history is really the story of peoples, many millions of whom, who stood up to resistance, who stood up to being put down, and who overcame the terrible things that many of our ancestors did. And I think having an event like that forces us to look at the past in a new way, and also look at our neighbours and our friends and our families and the people who are part of our community through it from a different perspective that's ultimately more inclusive and ultimately more intellectually enriching for everyone.